Three, two, one. Sean Schaefer, welcome to CD Logic Podcast Show. He looks like a mountain man, and don't even recognize this
Yep.
creeper with the beard. But welcome to the
John
show.
Flavor Saver.
You are our 24th episode, and what a coincidence! But right before I got on here, I realized it's Kobe Bryant Day, aka August 24th. So our 24th episode on the 24th. So it's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
R.I.P. Kobe, but it's almost like it was meant to be. So rest
His
in peace.
birthday was a couple days ago.
Yesterday, I believe. I hope.
Damn, that was close.
If not, someone's going to have to fact check me a second in. But Schaefer, welcome, or Sean Schaefer. Dude, I'm so used to calling you by
Just call me Schaefer, man. It works.
But Schaefer, welcome to the show, dude. Finally,
appreciate it
to get you on. So, how's it feel after all this time? You've been watching the show and been like a big critique and a big help. I like being humbled and saying our show sucks or whatever. But how's it feel?
It feels good, man. It feels good to be, finally on. I'd say your last video was pretty sick.
I appreciate
good editing, nice and smooth.
I appreciate
like the little sound effects.
Oh,
did you make those yourself?
Wait, all right. So let me ask you. So I believe you're referring to the body weight bench off where.
Oh yeah.
Where our buddy Fabio Lawson had to wear the giraffe mask. So out of that video, because you obviously gave me a good rundown of it, of what you thought, and this and that. But what was your favorite part, or what is something that you want to continuously see, and what is something that you don't really want to see moving forward? Because we've asked a lot of people. Me and DJ had a good conversation, but from you on the podcast show, I want to hear like a little review. And don't think you got to brown nose it either. I want to hear your honest review.
All right. I like the drone footage. I mean, that stuff's pretty sweet. You got a nice drone, man. I know you were talking about, getting that for months, and when you finally got it, it looks sick. I also say I like the quick, well, not quick, but more cuts going through. Instead of the long takes, I feel like our society likes quick things. So it's just change of scenery, keeps the viewer more into it, waiting to see what happens next. I like the competitive aspect. Like I said, I'm not much of a gym guy at all. I mean, I do my own stuff in my house, but the fact that you made it a competition, I kept, I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. I want to see who's win. That's how the Karut does, And you disappointed me. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh.
It was never a competition.
Yeah.
I think we all knew going in. That's specifically why Cody made it not about the winner, but about the loser, because he knew none of us were going to win. It was going to be Diego. We all knew that going in. Which is why we made it about the loser.
Yep.
The Caruth show. Bam. Loser.
But no.
But also I would say maybe keep your videos. You have your long videos, but I'd say if you have a shorter video, maybe make it a little short, have shorter segment videos, and then have your longer ones. That way you kind of please or kind of help the crowd that's doesn't really know you that well. They can watch a shorter video, not dedicate as much time. And then, I was like, oh, man, these guys are pretty cool. And then they'll start watching the longer videos and the longer videos. You see that with podcasts like your mom's house. Your mom's house with
Tom Segura.
Tom Segura, yeah. He started out 45-minute episode, 4 hours long. And I'm like, bro, okay, 4 hours, way too long. But how he did, he kind of progressed into a longer podcast, that kind of thing. Joe Rogan did the same thing. So
yeah, he's been pumping a lot of 4-hour episodes, which I just finally finished the David Cho one, by the way, DJ. But we can save that for a phone call tomorrow, because
that's a whole separate conversation.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. But no, dude, seriously, I really appreciate the feedback, because you've always been the one that at first I kind of sent it to you, and then you were almost asking about them, and it, I mean, not only means a lot, but the feedback itself is is really beneficial. It's really cool to have someone that doesn't mind giving an honest answer. And I mean, we've come a long way. I mean, as you said, I've been drawing that drone for so long, and I don't really know if I ever sent you, or I know I've probably told you, but to watch one of our older videos, just so we could almost I wanted you to bash it, because it would make me and DJ do all the time. We go back and watch it and enjoy it. I mean, whether it's our first video ever, or even our first podcast, dude. Our first podcast is terrible. Straight dog doo-doo. Halfway through, the 29-minute mark, My freaking computer dies.
That's the best
It's
part.
still recording.
Dude.
Oh, it's hilarious. But
That's just trying to tell you something, man. Way too long. 25 minutes.
but yeah, dude. So like I said, I greatly appreciate it. And if there's anything that you'd like to see moving forward, because you gave a lot of compliments and critiques on that video specifically. Anything moving forward, is there anything that you'd like to see us do? It could be anything. Far-fetched.
I would like we already do like pretty much weekly videos or like bi-weekly, right? Is that about how fast y'all put them out?
Our goal is to hit weekly.
Okay, I would do like maybe like a weekly segment, like have like a day to be like a segment, like I don't know, Thursdays you talk about this, or like it's like
almost like a Cody Caruth's coffee corner.
Oh my God.
Yeah, something like that. We're going to talk about the difference between avocados and plums or some bullshit.
I've been
like
passing out. I've been throwing out this idea for a while. So in me and Cody's dynamic, Cody is like the dreamer, inspirational guy. Like Cody could go on for hours just trying to be that inspirational guy, and that's not me. So what I suggested, because I know Cody wants to do videos like that more. So what I suggested is doing like a once a week, 3 to 5 minute video, right? Where we release it maybe on like on the weekend, maybe, and push our normal release to like a Wednesday. But like on Sunday, you drop it, and it's just Cody with a cup of coffee on his couch, and it's just him going on about whatever he wants to go on about for that week for like 3 minutes. And it's like it's a little cut. It's more. It might be actually like 5 to 10 minutes worth of like conversation, but we cut it down to 3 minutes of like really good inspirational stuff. And I've been passing that idea for a while.
He has.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I think.
He really has. And my brother, I want to court my brother more. Unfortunately, his schedule is like really wonky. But now that he's kind of got a new job and he's essentially more open in the evenings. I really am wanting to follow through on that idea because DJ's right. But I think in the end of the day, me and DJ we're the good like polar opposites in terms of the content, but it's also what makes our channel thrive. Like I think like one of the best videos to see that is I always throw out the Philadelphia video. I don't know why, but like DJ definitely has a character. He's definitely comical as can be, but he's definitely the one that's going to be quick to be a little bit more reserved. In a way, like I'll pump the brakes. Like me, I'll be on cruise control and I'm like, all right, this isn't fast enough. All right, like this isn't fast enough. But like sometimes I was never comfortable. But I don't know.
Yeah, you need to have that balance.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But
You do a good job, DJ.
Thank you. I try my best to bring this channel down.
Yeah, the guy that kind of like says the one-liner in the background and no one really hears it except one person, and they all look at each other like, "What the hell did he just say?"
That's perfect. That's what I aim for.
Right. Well, if you think it's a good idea too, Schaefer, then maybe I'll have to start doing it. Because I know one of our buddies, shout out to Jeff, but he does the Friday Feels, and he took a little break from that. But essentially, it's kind of what you and DJ were just kind of throwing out there with like a once a week kind of like more of inspiring or like kind of.
It's a heart to heart. It's more of a heart to heart.
Even if he's talking by himself to the camera, it also helps you get better behind the scenes, like with a microphone and camera, let alone like vlogging or really just talking out in public. He does a lot of them in his car, but I guarantee you, one that he is naturally socially awkward in a way, he could go out and do it like walking on the beach in front of people or whatever now. But it's not to mention it's good content. I'm not gonna lie to you, like. The kid definitely, and he'll admit it. I'm not bashing him at all. It's just true. Like he isn't as comfortable talking in public. But I'll say, like his videos, like they become like a big hit, a couple hundreds of views and stuff, and it's really cool just to see him grow. So maybe only bad thing is like sometimes I don't like doing it by myself like he does. That's why I rather like DJ almost be like not a moderator, but
the way I see it going on is this was your idea. We have. I'm more of like a cameraman in this idea.
Yeah.
And it's you and Shane, your brother, sitting next to each other. And Cody has the inspirational ideas, but then Shane has that like really good way of talking where he can just kind of vocalize what you're saying in a really, 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 like beautiful way. So like that would be a nice little give and take right there between you two. And then I'm filming it. And I'm kind of like pushing it to the next thing. Like I'm maybe bringing up like the subject, or I'm listening to it from from the view of the person watching the video. And if I'm like, that didn't make a whole lot of sense, try to re-say it, in a better way. That way we're all kind of working together like that. That way you're feeding off of somebody else.
Exactly.
The trifecta.
Exactly. But
the problem being, in order to do that, we would have to be together every single week, which is difficult.
Yes. Until I get new potential job and
yes.
Praying for you, man.
Yeah. So a little update. DJ Schaefer's one of the ones that I always mention as coworker buddy or whatever. That I know if I'm around a lot, but he's one of the ones that really knows a lot of the background detail of Ryan Holmes and how it shadowed you and this and that. So he I don't have to do too much explaining, but yeah, that actually would be perfect. If I make that happen and it all works out, and dude, that'd be easy. Weekly content all the time.
Right.
So, well, Schaefer, obviously, you started to say something before the show. He's like, no, let's wait, and it has to do with traveling. AK, that is our
dude.
Is our pride and joy, let alone in our name. So, what you got?
CDC just changed their guidelines on the quarantine.
They did.
No more 2-week quarantine for international travel or domestic travel.
They did. They actually did. I saw that today. Now,
bam. But who's not commenting on it? The states that have implemented a 2-week quarantine, like New York, Connecticut. The governors haven't commented on it, but they should follow the CDC guidelines like they've done everywhere else.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But actually, I did.
I guess it's just a recommendation. Maybe I don't really know what the CDC. I don't know if they can enforce it or not. But
yeah, I mean CDC, they're there to be like that, big, like grandpappy informative character. But I feel like end of the day, the governors or even mayors of cities kind of do their own thing, which they're elected to do so. But
they're more like an advisory or just advising what they should do, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to do that.
Pretty much. But with that being said, do you have anywhere in mind that you're trying to go? I know you and the fiance, soon to be wifey, here in the winter, you guys get a trip to
St. Lucia.
So do you anticipate maybe another trip or two, or I mean?
This year, probably not, man. Yeah, just so much going on. Everything's so fast paced. We got the wedding in November. Honeymoon in December. There's just no time. And starting with this new job too, I really want to be at the office and learning my stuff.
For sure.
But next year, I would really want to go to Toronto, go see some F1. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
We gotta get in
and eventually, my brother was supposed to go to Barcelona, but COVID happened. You go watch a race there, but
dude,
that'd be cool. Yeah, man.
That'd be awesome.
But no plan set. So, kind of slacking this year.
When would that be?
And I'm slacking too. I think that one's in June. Yeah, I think it's in June. But who knows, man? Their whole schedule this year's messed up, so next year's schedule's probably going to be messed up. Not really sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because the only little bit I know about Formula One was from when you were watching highlights or showing me different stuff about this, this driver or that, and I mean it's one of those sports.
Yeah, boring you to death. Yeah, I got you.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You don't like F1 then?
Cody's more of a NASCAR kind of guy.
Oh God.
Yeah, when I was 8, but another left turn,
No way, Cody, you're totally a NASCAR guy, dude. You've been to Bristol 3 times in the past 5 years.
Dude, so have you. What are you talking about?
Oh man, they do more than just NASCAR in Bristol. Come on.
There you go. They also drink a lot.
Yeah.
And wear jorts and mullets.
Yeah. And mine for some coal or something.
Yeah, something like that. But dude, that's awesome. Now I totally forgot about that. That's an awesome topic because that's definitely a big one. With the kind of putting the ball in your court of choosing to self quarantine, whether you go next state over, or cross country, or across the globe. So I know that's definitely going to be probably exercised a little bit more. More people slowly getting out there and
yeah.
So.
Well, I've learned that, when you're I'll go downtown to Richmond, or I was actually there this past weekend, and I learned a very valuable lesson, and that is that not lesson, but I learned that you can only get coronavirus when you're standing, walking, and that's it. because you don't have to wear a mask when you're sitting. Don't have to wear a mask when you're drinking. Don't have to wear a mask when you're eating. But God forbid, when you stand up, you better put that fucking mask on.
Where were you?
It's a weird.
Downtown. So like, it's kind of crazy. You go to these breweries downtown, so you need to get a reservation to go to a brewery. I went to like Boston and Ardent and the Vale, stuff like that, and
Really?
Scott's Edition in Richmond. And they're like, you need a reservation. You book a little reservation, and then they're like, all right, you need to walk in, and they might take your temperature. They might make you hand sanitize, but then they tell you to wear your mask while you're standing, and you don't have to wear it when you're sitting. Then you're sitting down, and you look over, and like, there's people next to you, and you're like, I don't understand the point. Like, what? Like,
yeah, it feels like it's face value precautions. It's not really anything super deep. Like when me and Bree this weekend went to Penny Lane downtown. It's this
great place.
British pub, yeah. And you had to wear a mask if you were sitting at the bar, which they only had 2 chairs. But if you were literally 3 feet away from the bar, sitting at one of their other tables, you didn't have to wear one. You're still within that 6 foot, range.
Yeah.
But just because you're not sitting at the bar, now you don't have to wear one when you're sitting down. Like you said, when you stand up, you have to put it on.
Yeah, God forbid, dude.
It's weird.
That's crazy.
It's weird.
Reservations for
Yeah.
breweries.
Hey, Lane, man, I miss going there, watching some, Premier League in the morning. That's the best place to go.
It is. It is 100%.
Yeah.
I've only been there a few times. We went there to go watch the Champions League final this past weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't really followed it this year because I don't really know what's going on, honestly. But I'm also a Newcastle fan, so there's no really point in watching it.
It was like a 4-month pretty dull period there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was happening.
But in a week and a half, Premier League comes back, which is freaking nuts.
Cody, this weekend Liverpool plays against Arsenal in the Community Shield.
Holy crap! Oh yeah, you're right. 'Cause
It's
always
quick.
before the Prem, like a week before. Dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
because Thiago left Bayern Munich right after the game and came to Liverpool, so he can play this weekend.
did he actually? So it's official.
I don't know. It is official. We are getting it. Like, that is official. Like, he said bye to Bayern and all that kind of stuff. But
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if he'll be there in time for Saturday.
I've always liked Thiago. I liked him at Barcelona. He's always like one of those. He's like a Stevie G or a Lampard or a Paul Scholes. Like,
Alan Shearer.
all right, Alan Shearer. There you go. They're always those players that I don't really know anyone that hates them, unless you are like maybe another player from a rival or something. So that'd be a good pickup. But yeah, no, that's hype. So Schaefer, I know you and I talked about it a lot, and especially you can either choose to tell DJ the story that you had from Mount Rogers, because I know something that we have failed to do, but I think it would be awesome, whether it's like us 3 or maybe one of your buddies, Schaefer, too, like the 4 of us. But you've wanted to go camping, started going camping again. You said you used to do it a whole lot, like camping, whether it's Mount Rogers on the Appalachian Trail. I know you said you had a lot of experience doing that. But we should definitely do that now that Shenandoah National Park's back open and all their hiking trails and the Blue Ridge Parkway. But I think it'd be a lot of fun. Where's like somewhere you think would be really awesome for us to go eventually do that? Maybe before like it gets really cold out or something.
Dude, Mount Rogers, 100%. My favorite place in Virginia. Grayson Highlands Park. You got Tom Richardson National Forest there. It's just like the most secluded place. Well, maybe not secluded, but most like peaceful place I've been to in Virginia. Like, you have like your AT trekkers that just freaking go, and like that gets busy. But like once you get off the AT trail and you're kind of going through the back trails, like we went through like a horse access trail, which was actually the worst decision ever because it's a bunch of freaking rocks. So like we're like rolling our ankles every 5 feet. It was pretty bad. But once you get there, man, it's so quiet, and you have these little wild fat ponies running around, prancing, and like, dude, we were there, and like I was like, I'm not going to see a freaking pony. I never see wildlife like that when I'm on the trail. And like me and my buddy Christian were walking down, like we're coming out of this wood line into this open grasslands, kind of like y'all Lord of the Rings fans.
Yes, sir. Of course.
It was like walking onto the plains of Rohan, and I was like, damn. They have like this like the rolling fields, and you have like these rocks coming out of it. I'm like, damn, dude. Like I just go on top of a rock, and I'm like Legolas, staring off into the distance. Like, yeah, I could see everything. But like we're walking, and all of a sudden, like behind this rock, we see this big black figure, and we're like, "What the hell? That's got to be a bear. That's a black bear. I've never seen a bear before." And we're like, "Well, it's kind of like in this one area, so we had like this little ridge, and then like here's the rock, and you have the trail going like that. So it's like we couldn't really avoid the bear without like going all the way around. So we were being like a little adventurous, like, oh, let's get a little closer, try and get a picture. And it ended up being some fat pony, like freaking mane, like all the way down to its hoofs. And I'm like, holy crap. And the thing like just like stared at you, and you were probably like 2-3 feet away from it, and it wouldn't even move. It was like the craziest thing ever.
They're super familiar with people.
Oh, 100%. And I know like later that day we were hiking and we're trying to find a campsite, and it was super windy, probably 31 degrees, I think. And it got down to like 10 degrees that night because we went in November. And it's a lot colder. It's not a mountain. It's like we have hills in Virginia, so it's not a mountain, but about 5,000 feet up. It's a lot colder than it is when you're not 5,000 feet up.
What was that?
Randall and Schaefer could be best friends because of what he just said.
Right?
So
why was that?
Sorry to interrupt you, but no, our buddy Randall from Las Vegas, he loves Southwest Virginia. You know, he's from Las Vegas, but chose a small little school on the Appalachian Trail in Emory, Virginia. But he neglected to ever admit that on the Appalachian Trail that any of the mountains were mountains. He said these are hills. He was so persistent about it, which, you know, I'm biased.
Which we fought him for 3 years until we actually went out west, and we were like,
yeah. I mean, if it doesn't have like snowy caps all year round, I don't think it's considered a mountain.
Honestly, yeah. All it just needs a little rocky face, you know, a little jagged edges, and that's a mountain.
Some goats.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying, we were like walking because we didn't know where to go because it was so cold and so windy, and there's like no trees where we were. And this one hiker, he just kind of came up to us. He was like, "Hey guys, y'all looking for a campsite?" And we're like, "Do we look like it?" It's like, "Yeah, we're looking for a campsite." And he was like, "Follow the ponies." And he kept walking. We're hiking like 12 hours that day. We're like, what the hell is that dude talking about? Follow the ponies. So it's getting like probably around 4 o'clock. The sun's going down, and we see these ponies. And we're like, all right, let's go see what they're doing. And like there were 2 of them. One kind of split up, so the one just kind of stayed there. And it was like in this like little boxed area. So you have these big spruce trees like this, and then he was just like in the center of it. And we're like, all right, well, he's here, so that looks like a good place to set up camp. So we did, and like we're setting up our tent, we're getting our fire started, and he's just chilling there. He's not moving. We're like, okay, I'm gonna snuggle with the pony. I mean, it's like, keep me warm, baby. So, but as soon as we started cooking food, it started walking away and kind of left. Kind of felt bad. Well, that night we had an ice storm, and it was super windy, crazy cold, and the most peaceful night I've ever experienced. Like I slept through the whole night, and usually camping is like hit and miss for me. It's like either I'm going to be up all night or, I'm going to sleep soundly. And I didn't wake up once. Woke up that morning, dude. It was like winter wonderland. It was like ice all over the ground and the trees. It was so quiet, like you could hear your heartbeat. And we're like, all right. So we started, getting our stuff put together, and we started walking down the trail, head back to our truck. And we're walking down the trail, and then all of a sudden we see the same pony. The same pony's like on the side of the trail, and it's just covered in ice. Like all its fur is just icicles, and like the whole time it's just like looking at us like, "You sons of bitches." That's so bad. So if you go there, man, follow the ponies, because that was the best spot on the mountain to sleep that night.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah. If anybody listening wants to take a trip down memory lane, we actually made a video about Mount Rogers 3 years ago called, this is a real throwback, Cody, the Tecker Twins of E&H take on Mount Roger, 2017.
Dude, that was like forever ago.
That was a long one. That was one of our first travel videos, really.
Yep.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Actually, it was our very first.
Was it?
Yeah, because we went on that hike maybe a month before New York in 2017. So it was so it was Mount Rogers, New York, then the road trip, and that's what kind of set it off.
It was our first video about traveling after our soccer videos.
Yep. Because
and then we only had one soccer video after that, and everything else since then's been traveling.
Yep. Which we need to change that. We need to do a soccer video.
We need to do a throwback, washed up college player soccer video.
Exactly, like Big Dave and the boys on Sunday League washed up.
Yes.
And I think I was there in like 2015, so that would been kind of cool. We were there at the same time, but
we missed each other by a couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, just a couple.
It was close. I'm sure we probably saw the same pony.
No, it probably did, man. Dude, also, like we were walking down the trail too, and some girl broke her ankle. Dude, it was nasty. She was
break her ankle. It's not a difficult hike, really.
Well, so like I was talking like did y'all go to the part of the Mount Rogers where we saw like the rolling hills with the grassland? Okay, so like where those rocks start kind of like jutting up, she was climbing that, man. She fell off.
We climbed those same rocks if we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. You probably were at the same rock where she broke her ankle.
It's almost
and it was insane because you couldn't. There was no access there. So like the park rangers had I don't remember they had like a radio they were using because there was no phone signal. But I think they said like the rangers were coming with like 4-wheelers, and they were like, I guess going to put her on a gurney or whatever and just drag her out of there because I mean they weren't close enough to Graceland Highlands where they could get the truck access. Yeah, she was with like 3 dudes.
They couldn't carry her? I feel like that's so extra. Like you have.
I don't wanted to touch her. I don't know, man. She probably didn't shower for like 3 days or something.
A bunch of beta males sounds like to me.
That's crazy, man. You just support her and walk down the hill.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's really not that hard of a hike. There's no real steep parts of it.
That chivalry is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I offered, but I don't think she wanted to go with a stranger.
I mean, that makes sense.
I'm just kidding. I didn't offer, guys. I just kept walking.
Truth comes out after all these years.
Yeah. I was actually really hungover that day because I brought a pint of whiskey with me. And the night before I thought I had just a couple shots. I drank like half the pint, and the pint's like 9 shots. So, yeah, I had like 4 shots. And I didn't realize... Huh?
I was gonna say, that's a lot when you're, probably not fully hydrated, hiking all day, low.
And I'm higher up in altitude.
Yep, higher altitude.
I woke up hungover. I was very upset. And then on top of that, man, I just keep reminding all these stories that night when I drank those like 4 shots, our tent was like slightly tilted, and I was on the lower part, which was fine because I made sure like my head wasn't that way, so I didn't wake up with a massive migraine. But my friend, I told my buddy, because it was going to be like 20 degrees, take your water bladder and put it between your legs so it doesn't freeze. And what he did is he made it his pillow. So he's sleeping on his little water pillow, man, and it starts leaking. And all his water starts pouring out, and it just soaks my entire sleeping bag. I was wearing thermals and a flannel. And that was completely so. I woke up like at 3 a.m. shivering, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die here." It was so cold.
See, Cody, that's what we're missing out on, man. We're missing out on these actual near-death experiences.
What's the closest thing you've had to a trip like that or an incident like that? I've been sitting here.
Closest we've been to death is Mo, probably.
Probably. I'm gonna let you tell that story.
No, it's okay. You can take it.
Oh my god. All right. So
okay. I'll do it. You begged enough. So
I want Cody to tell it.
No, okay, go ahead.
No, I'm kidding.
I was trying to get out of it.
Go for it, DJ.
So this was when we went to Italy, and we went to Italy. What was it? October this past year.
Yeah, we landed there like on Halloween or November 1 or something like that. Yeah,
okay, so the basic of the story is this is the closest we've probably been to death. Not really, though, but, it could have been if things were different, So we're in Italy, and we meet our friend Sarah, and we're like, okay, this was our first night in Italy, I think. We were going to go out and do something fun. Every time, so far in that trip, That was the last stop of the trip. We had been to England, Scotland, and Germany beforehand. And each time we would spend the first night going kind of wild. Like it was either at a club, we went to a bar, or we had all those drinks with Steve and Sherry. In Germany, we had all those drinks at our hostel with the other German fellows.
Oh shoot, that's right.
Yeah. So in Italy,
back now.
It is.
So in Italy, when we met up with Sarah, Sarah's no newcomer to partying at all. We were like, okay, this is going to be a lot of fun. So we went out. I think we got pizza and got a couple drinks at like the pizza joint, which is awesome. Got Peroni, I think, right, Cody?
Yep.
Yeah, you got Peronis, and like their Peronis there are like twice the size of like an American beer usually. Like
super cheap too.
You need it.
Yeah, super cheap. And then so like as we were leaving there, what was it? We had to go to like the ATM machine or something, which is like right outside the pizza place. Yeah. And there were three dudes just kind of chilling outside of the ATM machine, and there were two guys on the right side, one guy on the left side. And we walk up, and one of us is getting money out or something. And Sarah, who's just a social butterfly, it immediately starts just sparking up a conversation with the two guys on the right who end up trying to sell her weed or something, right?
It was like Dutch hash.
Hell yeah, brother.
It was like Dutch hash or like Middle Eastern like marijuana. It was real interesting.
Yeah, and Sarah was just keeping the conversation going, talking to them. And meanwhile, like she just keeps going, and me and Cody are kind of waiting for her to stop. We don't really want to get involved because we just don't really want to do that. So we're standing at the ATM machine. There's two guys on the right. Sarah's talking to those two guys. And then the guy on the left leans over and goes, hey, you got to tell your friend to stop talking to them. And we were like, why? And he goes, because they're trying to sell her more than just marijuana. Like they're going to try to like bump her up to something else, right? And he's like, me, I just sell marijuana. It's all I've got. That's all I ever tried. And he just starts going. He just makes his own kind of sales pitch a little bit. But he was like, you got to tell her to stop talking because you're drawing too much attention and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so we were like, hey, Sarah, come over here. Stop it. So Sarah comes over to us, and his name, it turns out to be Mo. And he's like I don't know, how tall would you say he was? He's probably like 6'5", maybe?
Yeah, he was, so the best description I can give you is he is a 6'5" African man that his family moved from, I think it was Ghana, to London when he was
which is why we sparked up a real conversation with him, because we started talking about soccer, because he had a very British accent.
Yes.
Which hits you kind of off when you're in Italy, so we kind of started talking to him about that. And he gave us the whole lowdown about how he was like, nobody checks for drugs over here, like flying in between countries and all that. All they do is check for bombs. Like you can literally walk in with like weed in your pocket. They don't care. Like he was just telling us about how he gets his weed everywhere across the country, whatever it is. Anyway, so we're talking to him, and he was like, pretty much we talked to him for like 5 to 10 minutes maybe about like soccer, about what he's doing, all that kind of stuff. He was an extremely nice guy. Very charismatic. He had a really nice way of talking. We talked about soccer a lot. And then he was like, you know what? I like you guys. You guys can go ahead and, go on your way, or we can go to the club down the street. Like, I can get you guys in. I know the bouncer. Like, I can get you guys in. We can go in and out. We can get drinks or whatever. And you guys can go your own way or whatever, right?
Sounds like a scene from Taken.
It does. That's why this is like our near-death experience. And the night turned out to be amazing. But we were like, okay, it's us three versus him. Like, we'll go to a crowded place, whatever, right? So we're like, okay, fine. So we go with him. He's literally like right down the street. Like you take a left, take a right, and it's right there. And all the streets are really tight and all that. So we go down, and there's a line, 50 feet long, or whatever meters are. We were in Italy, so the line's going down, and he just goes up, dabs up the bouncer. He's like, "Hey, these guys are with me." He's like, "All right, cool." So he lets us in.
No charge. Skip the line.
No charge. Nothing.
Wait.
Damn.
Yeah, nothing. We get in, and the place is packed. Like it is absolutely packed. The upstairs is kind of like your stereotypical kind of like bar / club. Like the lights are kind of on, brightish, not really though. There's like a huge dance floor up there, which Mo tells us that you have to pay money. in order to get on the dance floor.
That was really weird.
And we were people watching for a little bit because they were like clearly just a bunch of like rich frat guys who like looked awkward as hell up there dancing. And it was just them. Like it was just like 5 guys dancing with like, I don't remember there being girls or anything like that. Like, it was just weird kind of watching.
It was super weird. Like they were like,
But it's just dark enough where you can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like DJ painted that picture perfectly. Like it's very like kind of nightclub-esque, but not like raunchy, like American raunchy or like gentleman's club. It's just like a nightclub. But the thing is easily 100+ people in this cramped area.
It was shoulder to shoulder.
Everyone in there screamed not American. And like this was, I mean, there was probably, I would say of the 100 people, there's at least like 40 different countries worth of culture in there. But
which was amazing.
The only people that are American in there is me, DJ, and our friend Sarah, and the freaking frat guys on the stage danced like idiots, which was
of course, dude.
which was absolutely hilarious. But then, I'll let you
so we go in, and Mo was like, "Hey, first round of drinks are on me. Like you're my guest. First round of drinks are on me, right?" So we're like, "Okay." So we go up to the bar, and I'm not having this. I'm like, I don't trust this guy. So I get like real close to him at the bar.
DJ leaned over to me and said that too.
Yeah, I was like, I don't trust this guy. Because, I mean, why would I? Right? Like, he's you know, a drug dealer on the street that just got us into a fancy club. I'm like, he's looking for something. He's asking for something. Like, he's going to, treat us nice and then expect us to pay him, whatever it is, right? In Italy, the only downside that we had in Italy was the number of people that were, like, street sellers. That would, like, bump into you and, like, give you a high five or a handshake and, like, leave some beads in your hand and then expect you to pay them $20 for them, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane how many people there were like that in the streets of Italy. So I was like, this guy's, he's looking for something, No way is he as nice as he's letting on. So I'm like, I don't trust him getting us drinks. So I get up, real close to the bar with him. And he orders, what was it, like, he asked us what we wanted. It was like, 4 light beers or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever Sarah got. I think Sarah got a beer too because Mo made a big deal about it. He was like, what do you want? And she was like, I'll take a beer. And he goes, you're a girl. What do you want?
Yeah, he bought her some expensive ass like mixed drink.
Girls don't drink beer.
Yeah, and she's like, no, beer's great. So anyway, so he goes up, he orders the beers, and I'm like watching him. Like, I make sure he doesn't like slip anything into the drinks or anything like that, The beers come from the bartender to him, and they're in, more or less solo cups. Like, they're see-through solo cups. And I'm making sure that, like, the second they hit the table from the bartender to him, I'm taking them and handing them to Cody. And I'm taking them and I'm handing them to Sarah. And I take mine and I take mine. So, like, that way there's no way he could have done anything, right? Because I'm sketched out. I'm having a good time, but I'm like, I don't trust this guy. So then we, us 4 go back over to kind of the corner of the room. And we're kind of watching around. And Mo does, like, a huge inspirational speech about, being single and stuff. He was like, which one of you guys is single? And, like, I think Cody and Sarah both kind of, like, said me. I was like, I don't know, I'm taken. Yeah. He was like, what was it? He did some kind of really inspirational speech where he was like, the only reason you're single, like, everybody in here is looking for somebody. All you have to do is go out and take it. Like, it was something real inspirational.
Yeah, like, which I've
just go take it.
No, but like real, like on a serious note, like, he actually did kind of nail it because, unfortunately, in the American culture, a setting like that, it would have felt like real eerie, let alone someone trying to say that, because in American culture, it's always like, oh, I'm going to go home with someone tonight, Like, I would say, 4 times out of 5, it kind of feels like that. In Europe, it never feels like that. Yeah, you might see people, like, meet each other, make it out on the dance floor or something, but it's not like quiet. It's not to like, find your freaking wife in there. So that's why he was like, almost like, guys, just have fun, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know about DJ. That kind of low-key made me feel like I could trust him.
A little bit, yeah. Well, like, I mean, he didn't try to do anything to the drinks, but I don't know if I kind of set him off, right? Because I was looking real closely. Anyway, so we're standing there for probably about 10 minutes, and the place is packed. Like, it's shoulder to shoulder. But, the lights are on and all that. We're not really doing anything. We're just kind of standing there. And he was like, hey, this place is kind of dead. I mean, could kind of look at each other. We're like, what? This place is awesome. And he's like, no, this place is kind of dead. You guys want to go downstairs? And I was like, we were like, I'm sorry, what? And he goes, there's another club, or he said something like, there's another club downstairs. There's another bouncer. I know that guy too. I can get you guys downstairs.
And that's when he lost my trust again.
Yeah, that's when he lost our trust.
Back and forth. Bam. Okay.
We were like,
Good speech, though, bro.
we were like, okay, like we're just going with it tonight. So, like we literally turn around and there's stairs going down, stairs going downstairs, and it turns from like the upstairs was like kind of like a nice bar, like it had like nice wallpaper, kind of very nice looking. Then you go downstairs and halfway downstairs the walls turn to like brick, you know what I mean, like red brick, and you can see there's just red lights, red flare lights everywhere downstairs, and there's another bouncer downstairs, but the downstairs is packed. And whereas like upstairs, people were shoulder to shoulder, nobody was really dancing except for the frat dudes up on the stage. Downstairs was shoulder to shoulder, but everybody was just going all out dancing. Like it was like a perfect club dance environment. Yeah. And you had like the flare lights going off. I remember it being red, but I know it changed lights and all that kind of stuff. So we go downstairs. And we get in there, and I'm like, okay, like this is fine. This is okay. But he just got us into 2 places, free of charge. Got us a round of drinks. This is where he's going to make us move. This is where he's going to be like, okay, buy some weed. You know what I mean, or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get ahead of this guy. So I was like, hey, where are the drinks at? Like, where's the bar at down here? And he goes, it's over there. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go get drinks for everyone. Like, next round's on me. He's like, no, you don't have to do that. I'm like, no, don't worry. Like, you've been amazing. I'm going to go get next round. That way it kind of evens it out, a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. So me and Sarah go over, we get drinks for everyone. We come back over. Mo's barely had any of his first drink, right? Which offset me a little bit, again, because it's like, he's trying to get you drunk, but he's not really drinking, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I get him another beer. He's double fisting now, right? And it was around that time that we just kind of separated. We went out. Me and Cody and Sarah went over. We were just dancing, having a great time, probably for like 2 hours, right? Having a great time. Like it was amazing. It was probably one of the best moments of the entire trip as far as like fun goes.
I agree. Like we were like just dancing and like meeting people like as it was going on. Like, yo, what up? Where are you from? Belgium. Where are you from? South Korea. Like stuff. It was so cool.
I'm from Virginia.
What was it? I remember, I might have been wearing a Liverpool shirt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you were.
So I was wearing a Liverpool shirt, and I went to the bathroom. Now, the bathroom was like a unisex bathroom. There was only one bathroom, and it was just kind of like a line that you form on the inside, and they only had stalls in there. But that's relatively common in Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, but it was weird being in, like, a club setting, Anyway, so we're down there, and the dude in front of me turns around and goes, Liverpool? And I was like, yeah, man. And he goes, oh, dude, you would know this. And he just starts singing You'll Never Walk Alone. And then I join in. And then the 2 guys behind me start joining in. And then the entire bathroom starts just all out blaring You'll Never Walk Alone.
Like drunkenly like cheering for Liverpool, and there's not even a game going on. Didn't you say like the guy in the stalls, like, what do you got? You'll Never Walk Alone, just comes out and starts singing too.
Yeah, he comes out and starts singing. Then we finished that song, and then we just start doing player chants and all that. It was amazing. So like that whole night was amazing. And then like 2 hours later, we're all relatively drunk, tipsy, whatever. We're having a great night.
Which, quick pause, backstory, we also had a little bit less than we had because we drink every single night, not like plaster or anything. But that day, obviously DJ remembers, we took a night train the night before from Munich to Berlin. We get off the train at Berlin, change in the bathroom to freshen up, wash our face. We walk almost the entire city of Berlin. We walked 35,000 steps. Take the 2-hour flight from Berlin to Rome, walk another like probably 10,000 steps, check into the hostel, drop everything off, eat, drink. I mean, we probably walked 50,000 steps that day, and it was basically nonstop. And yet we're still, it's like 1 a.m., the next morning, and we're still just going crazy.
Maybe put something in your drinks.
Maybe
some speedball or something like that.
To like conclude the story with Mo, like 2 hours later, like we're having a great time in the party. I just assumed Mo left. At some point, I just kind of got shuffled to like the side of the club, and Mo's over there just dancing with a chick, just having a great time. Like, it was a chick that he met like earlier on while we were in there. And he was just like, hey, you guys are still here. And I was like, hey, you're still here. He was like, you guys having a great time? And I was like, yeah, we're having a fantastic time. He was like, yeah, go, go, go. And that was it. Like, that was like the last we had of Mo. So like, I don't know what it was, but we genuinely, like, I don't know if he was just genuinely that nice of a guy that he just enjoyed the 5 minutes that we talked to him outside the ATM machine so much that he gave us like that great of a night. But it turned out to be one of the best nights that we had in Europe.
I agree.
Jeez.
Not to mention the average age.
Got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It was high risk, high reward, you know? The risk is we die. Or we get, trafficked or whatever, right? The pro is we have a fun time in Italy drinking and dancing. So,
And magically, there was a bathroom with only Liverpool fans.
Yes, that was the pro, actually. That was the high point.
yeah, that was a heck of a night. Every day / night of that trip was just unimaginable, but that one specifically, that day was just nuts. But who would have thought we would have met oh yes, he was 42 years old the whole time.
Oh yeah.
The whole time
He was an old dude.
Whole time I'm thinking like he's maybe a couple years older than us, or maybe your age, Schaefer. But
Well, how old is that?
upper 20s, right?
He's 47.
He was like,
Yeah, he's either 40 or like your age, Schaefer. I don't know.
you're a couple of years on us, so I mean, I thought
Yeah, I'm just messing, man.
this guy's like a couple of decades older. I'm like, what the heck? Dude, it was super strange. Super strange.
Yeah, he's always, party for life, bro.
Must be. But yeah, dude. What about you? Well, I've heard a lot of different variety of stories from your European travel, especially like Germany and everything.
Been
like
to
that,
Europe?
Yeah, just one time back in high school.
Where'd you go?
Went to Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, this was in high school. This is after 16. Could you drink over there?
Yeah, I could, but we weren't supposed to because, school rules, but it was also a summer trip, but also not school sponsored, so it didn't really matter. But our German teacher was he was like full German, no hair on top, white hair here, nice good beard, rosy cheeks, big like Santa Claus. It's like a classic. Also a monk for like 45 years.
Wow.
But he loved beer. He did like beer. And, man, the funniest thing I think I experienced there was when we were well, first of all, the plane ride was about a 9-hour plane ride, American Airlines coach. And I got put next to some 300-pounder on the window. I was the middle. And then the person next to me was the only girl in our class that I did not like. So it was pretty bad. But anyways, our teacher who was telling us like some rules and like customs like in Germany, like, you don't ask, you don't go up to someone and say, like V Gates, you don't like ask them how they're doing. Like you're only supposed to say that if you're like close family or like really, really close friends. Like if you say that, they'll like just kind of look at you funny. And every time I did say it, they looked at me funny. And then
it's a real Southern hospitality thing. They don't do it there. Like
they look at you like, why do you care how I'm doing? Like, you don't know me.
Yeah, we had the same thing when we were going over to Europe for our study abroad trip, where we were told that like how we walk down a path at college and go, hey, like how you doing? And it's almost like just you don't really expect an answer most of the time. It's just kind of like what you say. Over there, they take it very literally. So
yeah,
like
100%.
Actual friends, like it's very off-putting.
Yeah.
No, the German language has like I think 2 or 3 words that describe friends, like in your relationship with them. I don't remember what they are, but I remember there being tiers. Like you have like a work acquaintance, then you have a friend, then you have like something else. But he was saying like the one thing he brought up, and he said, if a girl comes up to you, or a guy, I guess, but mainly a girl, and says, "Haben Sie Feuer," which means "Do you have a light?" is the hooker pickup line in Munich.
Oh, Cody, someone asked you that when you were there, right?
What?
Huh? So like that was like when we first landed. We landed in Frankfurt, and then like a couple days later, we were down in Munich. And this, I don't know, I was 5'10", I was 17 years old, and this like 6-foot Asian girl and like her little side chick friend or whatever come up and walk to me and my friend, and she says "Haben Sie vor?" And I was like, "Ich rauche nicht. I don't smoke." You know, I probably said that wrong. It's been a while since I practiced German. And it wasn't clicking in my head like, oh, like that was cool. Someone's asking, like they're talking to me in German. Like this is cool. Whatever. Every time I said something there, they'd immediately speak English because like, oh, you're American.
Yeah.
Like just because of the accent. And we're talking, and then all of a sudden, like I just hear my professor. He just goes, Ulrich. That was my German name, and we always called us by our Germans. You know, like in school, you like choose your name. Mine was Ulrich. So Ulrich, and he goes, Ulrich. Kommen Sie here. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And he was like yelling at me, do you know what you're doing? You're talking to a a hooker. And I'm like, oh my God, what? And I'm like, there's no way. She was really nice. And he's like, and he like points over to her. And she just kind of like walks and starts talking to this guy on the bench. And then he gets walked through this like alley, and we never saw him again. And I was like, what the fuck? So talking to a hooker.
How old were you?
I was 17.
Oh, nice. That's a compliment, mister.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, man, she's too pretty for a hooker. What's going on here?
Did you go home and use that as a playing card? Go to your next little party, and you were like, "Hey, you'd be lucky to have me. I got hit up on by a German hooker."
She was gonna pay me. I tell you.
Wow.
No, I didn't take advantage of that experience.
That's awesome.
No, it was pretty good. We almost got sent home because we were breaking rules. We were in Switzerland. I forget the name of the town, but we were at this like bed and breakfast, and it was on a glacier lake. And it was my birthday, and we got there, and we asked our teacher like, "Hey, can we go like swim in the lake?" And he said, "Be back before dinner." And dinner was like 1800 or something like that. So like, okay, so we go there, and we're like swimming in this lake, dude. And like, I've never experienced water, and that's kind of a weird thing, but like, I've never experienced water that's so light. And maybe it's because it was like such fresh water, but like, it just felt like you kind of glided through the water. Like you barely had to like swim. I don't know. It's kind of hard. It was just weird. Kind of hit me, you know. Huh?
Where was it at?
It was in Switzerland. I don't remember the town. Yeah. But we're walking back, and it's like 30 minutes before dinner starts, and then all of a sudden we see, like, we turn the corner and we're walking up our street, up the hill to the bed and breakfast, and he's like storming down the sidewalk, and he's going, "You jackasses! You jackasses!" Like, no shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And he was like, "I didn't say you guys could go swimming, blah, 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 blah." And he's like, we had to like basically like be his puppy the rest of the trip. Like, be with him and his group, like walking around. He was our chaperone and all that. And I think what happened really was that the tour guide that is in charge of everything was like, that's not allowed. And he was like trying to cover his ass. But yeah, we almost got sent. Like, they threatened, like called our parents, and we're going to send them back home on the next flight and all that stuff. So for breaking the rules, even though we got permission.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Nah, Germany was really fun. I'll go back. 100%.
Now
we never broke the rules on our study abroad trip.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Don't do it. Don't do it. You get sent home by some stranger.
That is super wrong, DJ.
Our rules were very loose. We took shots with our study abroad professor.
Yeah, like
before the Ajax Manchester United game.
Yeah, like DJ actually is right. We didn't break any rules because there were no rules to be broken.
We didn't break any rules. There were no rules to be broken. Like, we had drinks with our professors. Our tour guide, like your tour guide sounded like he was kind of a stickler for the rules. Our tour guide.
That was my teacher.
Okay. Our tour guide took us out the night of the Europa League championship game where Ajax, this was in Netherlands, where Ajax, which is the Netherlands team, was in this final of this big European tournament. And he was like, "Hey, there's going to be 100,000 people at the town square watching this game.
Square there, yeah.
And he was like, I actually have a buddy who has a rooftop bar or rooftop viewing. I think he could watch it from his own rooftop. You guys want to come? Because like we had kind of made a connection with him early on. And we were like, yes. So like he took us and we did a bunch of stuff with him. It was a lot of fun. He took us on a canal trip.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, like that was his private, like personal boat. Cause like he was obviously from Amsterdam. Like this guy like worked with our college for like a whole decade by then. He takes people all over the world, but like this is his home country. He knows like the back of his hand. And DJ, I don't know if you remember, but the guy that owned that rooftop apartment.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Was Edwin.
Edwin, that's what I was trying to remember the name.
It came to me. I kept wanting to say Ewing. I don't know why, but Edwin. And like, we're down in the square, and there's like literally 150,000 people. Like, I mean, people are climbing poles, smoke bombs. I'll just show you a picture or send you a video, but it is so amazing.
If you remember, go back into this video and edit a picture right now.
Wait, you like timestamp it, man. Timestamp it.
You want me to actually like pull it up and show?
No. Like edit it in.
Oh, you mean for this? I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Like it'll be right here.
Use your computer skills.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, we're at like almost an hour. So mark it.
Deal.
Yeah, we were there during the World Cup too, which is actually really cool. Like, yeah, man. Whenever like Germany was playing one night and there was no one in the streets, everyone was like in the bars having a good time. And it was that day. It was USA versus England. And earlier that day, some British dude came up to me. I guess he thought I was a native, and he started asking me where these things were. And I'm like, bro, I'm not from here. And he goes, where are you from? And I'm like, America. And he was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm on vacation. And he like slaps me on the back and goes, well, good luck in the World Cup. And that was the year that we tied England. And I was like, oh, I wish I knew that. I was like rubbing in his face, like, oh yeah, you like that? But it was pretty cool.
I remember the morning of the Europa League final, the game that we went to on the rooftop and all that. Like I remember we woke up early that morning. We were doing our normal, travel or study abroad stuff. Was that the morning we went to go see the life vest making people?
Yeah.
Or were they the
refugees, like the
refugees? Yep.
The Middle Eastern, like Syrian refugees and like homeless folk or whatever that were like.
Yeah. They made
like life jackets for them.
No. What they do? So it was this. I'm gonna say nonprofit, but I can't remember, to be honest. But they were a group that took life jackets that were from refugees that had escaped from.
So not while they're in the water, like after they got out.
After they got out, yep, they took they didn't take them from the water while they're in the water.
Give me your life jacket.
Give me your life jacket. We're trying to help you. No.
It was mainly there were Syrian refugees mainly.
Syrian, yep. So they would take their life jackets after they were safe, after they were in Netherlands or wherever they were. And they would turn those life jackets into wallets or into pocketbooks or into purses, and then they would sell those, and all the proceeds or all the revenue that would come from that would go back to helping out those refugees. So
sweet.
Anyways, so we woke up early to go do that in the morning, and as we were taking the train out there, the subway train system, whatever they have in Netherlands, Arno was like, "Do you guys feel that?" We were like, what do you mean? He goes, like, the tension in the air. Like, the game is today. And, like, as the day goes on, the tension will build. So, like, we were kind of, paying attention to the rest of the day. And sure enough, like, as the day went on, you saw more and more and more people wearing, Ajax jerseys.
I'm actually wearing the shirt I got today.
Perfect.
Oh, sweet.
That's awesome.
Perfect. And, like, it was insane because, like, you're in Ajax, which is, like, let's just say it's New York City. Okay. And it would, to put it into like American sense, it would be like as if, I don't know, New York Jets were in the Super Bowl, right? And from the
Cleveland Browns.
Whatever. So from like the morning, like as the day goes further on, it would be as if every corner you turned in New York City, you would see every single person wearing a New York Jets jersey. Like, it was that insane. Where, like, throughout the day, no matter where you went, all you saw was red and white. That was all you saw from everybody. And he was like, everybody in this like city knows about this game. Yep. And he said that since Ajax is the biggest team from the Netherlands, he said everybody in Netherlands travels to Amsterdam to watch this game here. Wow. And it was like literally you could legitimately sense the tension growing throughout the day. Like you could almost feel it. It was the wildest thing.
Wish we had stuff like that here in America.
Right?
Like everyone just wearing red, white, and blue.
I always bring up the game we went to when we were in London. We went to a Fulham game, and Fulham is in the Championship, which is the league below the Premier League, and so it'd be like AA baseball, AAA, AA,
AA, I think.
It'd be like AA baseball, kind of, with the possibility of going up to the Premier League, with the chance of going up to the MLB.
Yeah, Newcastle's relegated.
Yep, there you go.
I know how
you know all about it. You know all about it.
Yeah.
So we went to a Fulham game, and I remember so clearly, like we sat down in our seats, and me and Cody just looked at each other, and it was legitimate, like electricity in the air.
Yep.
Like you could feel it. It was the most wildest experience I've ever felt. And I've been to NFL games. You know, I haven't been to NBA games, but I've been to hockey games, you know, MLB games, college football games. Never felt that kind of electricity in the air, right? And as the game went on, I remember this one time the other team scored, right? And their away section was over there. And when they scored, I was legitimately like slightly scared for my life for like a split second when their fans like arose from their crowd and like screamed, right? Like it almost felt like they were going to attack you. Like it was like that much tension, right? And that much energy. And me and Cody looked over here and we were like, we've never felt anything like this. Like this is like heart pulsing, like this is amazing. This is what it's all about. And then like 5 months later, I was listening to a podcast where a guy who wrote a book about traveling to every league in Europe and watching one game throughout one calendar season.
Yeah.
And they asked him what was like the craziest, you know, energy atmosphere you felt. And he was talking about like a team in Turkey and in, I think like somewhere in the Middle East or something like that. And they were like, oh yeah, like, and you know, you're from Fulham, like you're from the Craven Cottage, and that's a pretty quiet stadium. And I remember like pausing the video and like immediately calling Cody and going, hey, you know that like electric feeling that we could not like describe that made us like shake to our bones? That's quiet. That's
my
quiet.
gosh. Was Newcastle on that list? I would love it. Come on.
What?
Was Newcastle on that list?
I don't think so. They didn't have, apparently British teams are very quiet comparatively to like some of the other countries.
You get like the Middle East, like those
like
teams.
Middle East, like some of the Middle Eastern teams are pretty crazy.
Like South America's got to be crazy.
I think it's the.
Probably. Oh yeah, for sure.
I think like the loudest fans from what I've heard are the Turkish fans because like they literally threaten the other team. Like that's why they have those big ass chain link fences in the stadium.
Oh yeah. Well, like, if you watch Germany,
if you watch
Germany, like England's one of the very few. This is me speaking like I know. England's one of the very few European like countries, like leagues, that actually doesn't have any protective barriering from the crowd to the field. Like if you watch like a German game, like they have like netting, and they have like a protective wall that separates the away crowd from the home crowd.
Yeah, and like it sounds like you got to do that.
You do have to, yeah. Because like they go that crazy, and it's a different world. It's a different world.
We start protesting some games in England and say build a wall.
They'll
protect us.
They'll actually think it's funny. Meanwhile, they're like, that's offensive over here. So
in that same podcast, the guy was talking about how I think one of the loudest places he was, it might have been a Turkish stadium, But he talked about how he got a seat in the home section in like the fan base area, you know. And he said that they were going so crazy. He leaned over to the guy next to him who was like from there, and he said, like, "Do you guys even know what's going on?" And he was like, "No. Like, we go back home and watch the game afterwards. Like, right now, all our job is to make as much noise and to go as crazy as we can for 90 minutes. Like, they don't pay attention to the actual game. They wait until after the game. Like, their only job is to create such an atmosphere that it scares the opponent."
I mean, it's a good tactic.
It is a great tactic. Apparently, it
Yeah,
works.
probably find some ads on Craigslist. Come here, make noise. All right.
Right?
That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Oh, now we have to go back to Europe and watch another game live because apparently
No quarantine, man. Go and do it.
exactly,
October,
and the Premier
right?
League is apparently having fans again.
In October, I think.
Yep, like after like a couple weeks into the season, they're gonna start slowly building capacity back to.
Thank God. I'm so sick of those little cardboard figures they have.
Some of them are low.
However, I have been enjoying the games where you don't you watch it online. You have the option to have like the fake fan noise or have no fan noise, and like actually hearing what the players are saying. It's like, oh yeah, dude, these guys are fucking dirty. You haven't done it, give it a try.
What do you prefer, with noise or without noise?
Sorry, my brain went somewhere.
No. In a sporting event, what do you prefer?
Huh? Oh,
What do you
noise all the way, dude.
Okay, now in the other sense, what do you prefer?
With noise, duh. Come on.
Okay, there you go.
Wake the neighbors, man.
Yee.
No, it's like we're watching like even like football. Like my mom, we'll go to my mom's house like for Thanksgiving, like watch some football. My mom would be like, "Hey, like turn the volume off. Like you don't need the volume." I'm like, "Mom, yes we do. We need the volume." He's like, "You just have to watch." I'm like, "No, Mom. I need to hear the fans. I need to hear Tony Romo be a terrible commentator,
Dude,
and that's it."
he's like ranked like one of the new best.
I know. He shits on my Browns, man. I don't like it.
I mean,
Not that hard.
was that a pun?
Shit's my Browns.
He made a great pun and didn't even realize it.
No, actually, if you could watch like someone should make a compilation of just like Tony Romo's commentary on the Broncos games when like he was like when Peyton Manning was there, he was so about Peyton Manning. Like he had like the biggest love affair with him or something. I don't know what's going on, but that's all he talked about. And then like a few games after that, he'll just talk about Peyton. He's like, "Yeah, be like Peyton. Like, Peyton, there's one game Peyton. Oh yeah, dude, Peyton." I'm like, dude, this guy, come on. Now you're gonna pick up on him when you start watching him, commentate.
See, he'll never talk like that about Baker Mayfield and the Browns.
No, I don't like Baker. Nick Chubb, baby.
Oh my god, he's hurt right
I
now.
like my Chubb.
And moving on.
Keep bringing it back. I like it.
Oh god. Well, I think we're into like an hour or so. So Schaefer, I know you got a grandpa job now. So you have.
Nah, man, I go all through the hours of the night playing Call of Duty Warzone.
I know you.
Where
do.
we dropping?
I know.
That's impressive.
I mean, we could do a trio after this and get on the hop in the Warzone. So.
We can do a quad. I know Luke's waiting.
Oh shoot, we could.
Oh, yeah?
We definitely could do a quad.
He's in queue, huh? He's just.
He's in the queue right now. He's got the game.
Y'all gonna join my lobby? Come on, man.
I mean, Schaefer did neglect me last night, which it's okay 'cause I got a dub last night, so it's all right.
Oh, Cody, you got a dub?
I sure did. That's dub number 13.
You never got a snap, dude.
Nah, I was.
How am I supposed to keep up with your dubs if you don't snap me?
That is true. Schaefer, I always send DJ. I send like DJ and like.
Are you serious?
Like DJ and like 4 of my buds, because like Turner started it. One of our coworkers, DJ Turner, started it. He would always send me like a video or a picture. So I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna send it to you. So then I'm like, oh, I'll just throw DJ and Luke in there since I play with them all the time.
Cody throws like like if you like make a video and it goes longer than a normal snap, it makes another video. He'll send like 3 of those from like the second like the winner goes up, and it like all the way through him going up into the helicopter and all that. He's recording all of that. You just hear him go, yeah.
Hey, I'm proud, man. I'm proud.
And you probably rewatch it 3 times. Like, yeah, remember that time?
Maybe. Maybe. But
Yeah.
dude, we definitely could hop on here in a few, but
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate y'all having me on here. It's been a good time.
I keep saying we should start a Twitch or something.
honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Traveling Twitchers.
Traveling Twitchers. No, dude, traveling Weezers.
I'm a traveling Twister, man. Come on, bro. I just can't stop.
Oh god, that was good. But yeah, dude, it's been an absolute blast having you on. I know we've been talking about it forever, and I know we definitely are gonna want to get you on in an in-person episode.
Yeah. Where are you
Please,
from?
man. Huh?
Where are you from?
Hanover.
Where are you living now?
Hanover.
He's not from this area, so.
Perfect.
No,
No,
I was originally born in Columbus, Ohio. Lived there for 10 years.
Okay, cool. But you're like in the area, so once COVID's all over,
yeah.
you in person.
Yeah, man.
For sure. Sweet.
We'll have to do some penny lane mornings for Prem and camping trips with ponies and in-person podcasts.
Yes.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
That'd be
It's
awesome.
a long day. We can do it.
Indeed. And
All right, boys.
all right, Schaefer, dude. Episode 24. Thanks a ton for coming on the pod. We're gonna have you definitely have you on again, and I'll see you in the war zone, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. R.I.P. Kobe.
R.I.P. Kobe. Episode 24 on 8/24. R.I.P. to Black Mamba. DJ, take us away.
Bye.